So we will finish with the sky report. Patrick, tell us about what to look at the sky.
Okay, well, one thing you can look for is this planet, which is planet Mars. This was taken by our very own Tony Cook through his 8-inch telescope. And we see a polar cap, and there are other features. Tony, do you know what that other feature is that we're seeing there?
Near the center, actually, is about where Valles Marineris is, the Mariner Valley. You can also see one of the shield volcanoes in the upper right, actually casting a shadow, too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you have a chance to see Mars if we just go out in the evening around about 10 o'clock. We'll see not only Mars in the east, we see two other planets. One is Saturn, and the brighter planet is Jupiter. And there's a lot of other constellations in between. But Saturn and Jupiter right now make a nice pairing in the evening sky.
We have, in fact, a picture from our own Katie Flynn, who helps create the show and produce it. She's in Michigan visiting family, and she took this from her backyard the other night. And it's a little hard to see the little dots. The moon is easy to see, but there, hopefully you can see Jupiter and Saturn. And we want to encourage you to just go look south, go outside, go to a window, step outside your side door, your back door, your front door, and look up, and you'll see these two very bright objects in the sky. And you will know that this is Saturn and Jupiter, and you'll be able to recognize them and watch them change throughout the rest of the fall. If you've been watching them, you've seen them coming across the sky all summer long. That's going to continue into the fall. And the reason they're next to each other, it's due to where they are in their orbits. So this little diagram shows you the relationship between Earth, Jupiter, and Saturn. You can see why we see Jupiter and Saturn right next to each other. But there's more, and that is that gap is going to get even closer and closer and closer through the fall. And on December 21st, you can see there, here's August. And as we get to December 21st, they come to less than half a degree apart from one another. Very, very close. It will be a gorgeous sight. It's also the first day of winter, and there's a solar eclipse that day. So it's an astronomically crazy day. Here's the little alignment for December 21st. So watch them between now, here we are, start of September. Watch how they change night after night. Get to know them, make them your friends, and watch how they change in the next couple of months. It'll be a really fun thing to watch.
That's great. I'll be marking my calendar for December to see those two planets get close together. Now, something else you can see in the sky is there are a bunch of stars, and stars, if you join lines together, make constellations. One of them is Pegasus. And you can see that around the word Pegasus, there are 4 stars that make a square. If you use the 2 stars at the front of Pegasus, you can draw a line all the way down to find a lonely bright star in the south called Fomalhaut in the constellation of Piscis Austrinus, or the southern fish. So that's something that's worth looking at in our evening sky. So now we're going to turn into the morning sky. So for you early risers, if you get up on September 14th at 5 a.m., you'll see the thin crescent moon, only about 26 days old, and the bright planet Venus in the constellation of Cancer the Crab. Now, the next slide is just talking about the moon. Here is our moon phases for this month. And we start with, we already had full moon. So last quarter is on the 12th, new moon's on the 17th, and first quarter is on the 23rd. You also notice that before first quarter, there is a fall equinox, and we're actually coming close to a change in our astronomical seasons, where we have the autumn equinox occurring on the 22nd at 6:31 a.m. our time. And this means that the sun is exactly on the celestial equator. And it also means that autumn begins in the northern hemisphere at that time, and conversely, spring begins in the southern hemisphere on the same date. And at this time, we have a equal day and night throughout the planet. And then just a quick peek at the end of the month between the 2 planets, Venus and the bright planet Mars. There are a number of beautiful winter constellations to look forward to in the early morning sky. And at the end of the month, Mars is getting very bright. In fact, it will be as bright as Venus at that time.
Here is another picture from Katie of Mars. And a couple of months ago, Mars was kind of not much to speak of, but it is getting brighter, 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 again, because of the alignment of positions of the planets in their orbits. So here you can see Jupiter and Saturn, where we last left off discussing it. But in October, you'll see another alignment happens. And that alignment is called opposition. Mars is just perfectly opposite, from the Earth's point of view, opposite of the sun. So it's full on lit. Now, because the orbits are a little bit elliptical, its actually closest day is the 6th of October. So all of you astrophotographers, get out your cameras, get out your telescopes. You want to take a look at Mars. And even if you're not an astrophotographer, even if you're just walking down the street and what in the heck is that big, bright orange thing? That is Mars. So again, we encourage you to go out, take a look, enjoy it. And here's a nice top-down view.